Next, we have a presentation by Emily Stadulis. She's going to give help from Pablo Pena and Phil Greenstreet, who's hiding behind the light there. She's going to tell us about the latest from Rosco, which is DMG Lumiére lights, which I've used and really like. So tell us about them, Emily.
Thank you so much. So welcome and thank you everybody for joining us today. Rosco, as many of you know, we've been around in the industry for quite some time. So we've been around for over 100 years. We've actually been around for longer than cameras have been around. So we've been in the business of creating and crafting color and technologies for this industry for a very long time. We have over 50 years of manufacturing experience and over 15 years making LEDs for the film and TV market. So the line that you see here, the DMG Lumiére mixed technology by Rosco, really represents the culmination of a lot of work and our Emmy and award-winning technology that goes into this. And really, what we were aiming to do was really to create a new place where you can really improve and evolve your workflow. We've been doing this long enough that we understand the challenges that come when you are on set. Budgets are being shortened. You're not giving time to pre-light on set. You are having to be in challenging locations. Now that we have some of these wonderful tools with color technology and RGB fixtures, it's really starting to challenge folks. And so workflow is a really big issue that we're really trying to address with the mix line. So with that, we have three really big hallmarks that set the mix line apart. So first, we have a really highly durable yet modular design. So we go all the way down to the almost 2 foot by 8 inch panel while still maintaining less than a 2-inch profile. This fixture right here, the head is less than 4 pounds, puts out over 200 foot candles at 3 meters while still only consuming 100 watts. We go all the way up to the large Maxi Mix fixture here, which despite its size and an output of 800 foot candles at 10 feet, still only weighs about 27 pounds, little more than the size of a Lico. So these are meant to be built up, put in studios, or broken down and used in a variety of ways, like you just saw Pablo here. So he can put this on a stand, but very quickly, without any tools, can go to a handheld situation. So now he can Hollywood this, go around for walk and talks, and not have to waste time on set or find tools to flip and to go to your modular design. We use a passive cooling system on these fixtures, which helps not only keep the low profile down, but also helps the fixtures last over time. So you don't have fans, which are noisy and can break maybe before your LED fixtures would happen. The second thing that really sets the mix line apart is Rosco's trademark color science. So before Rosco made an RGB fixture, we really wanted to make sure we could get it right. We started noticing that a lot of the same RGB colors and diodes that we were using for some of our other fixture lines, for some of our other markets, didn't play well on camera. So we had to invent some from scratch. And the third thing that we really wanted to make sure that we got right, to make sure that your workflow is easy and helpful on set, is to really make an easy user interface. So we can cram a lot of features into these types of fixtures and these technologies and workflows, but if the user interface is too difficult to understand and is holding you up, then maybe you're not able to achieve all the creative freedom that you really want on set. So you can see here that we have not only a variety of sizes, but we have a wide range of accessories and ways that you can really modify the fixture. 3 different mounting methods. You can really change things around, put the batteries on the fixture, off the fixture, however you want to build these fixtures up, build them into sets, put them against walls. You can do that. That fanless design really helps you to get these fixtures into small, compact places that you ordinarily wouldn't be able to get a fixture that can put out this size output. The second thing that I really want to hit home today is our trademark color science. So Rosco, when we make an RGB fixture, we really say it's RGB+++. So what you can see here is that we have a proprietary set of not just 4 chips, not just your standard RGB or RGBA or RGBWW, but it's a proprietary 6-chip LED set that is comprised of red, green, blue, amber, lime, and white. And those little asterisks are really important because we're not just putting in more colors, we're creating color in a very fundamentally different way than the technology that's been out there, and that is by phosphor converting a lot of our deep colors. So that picture that you see on set, I deliberately put up there, that's actually a picture taken from a show where you've got that clipped artifact that you get from just a straight up full saturated blue. So if you're relying on the standard RGB technology that's out there, you're going to start running into those types of issues because it's matching up with the camera sensor. The proprietary mix technology fills out that color gamut, even when you're on deeply saturated colors, to prevent those type of workflow issues that you may not notice to the eye on set, but are certainly going to show up in your image and be baked into your post-production workflow. We want to make sure that we weren't getting you those problems on set. And the third thing that we've really tried to hit home is true Rosco color. So, of course, Rosco is the only manufacturer in the world that makes all the different types of gel systems, E-color with the cinemoid numbering system, where 101's a yellow and 202's a CTB, as well as your favorite Storaro colors in the Cinegel, GAM, and Rosco Lux. We wanted to make sure that if you are in a flexible environment where you are working still with your analog technology and your gels, or you're working cross manufacturers, that you're going to be able to get some reliable gel colors out of that. If you're matching to a practical, or if you have to put on some minus green, maybe in an office environment, that you're going to be able to workflow across those systems reliably. So this shows you the color gamut of our trademark color science. And what I want you to notice here is that we've got these really much more full spectrum LEDs than you typically get. Especially important is that phosphor converted red that you see there. So rather than necessarily needing to add in more specific LED chips, which can then really drop your efficiency when you are in the saturated colors, by using one phosphor converted chip, we're able to cover the gamut not only from 630 nanometers, but all the way into that infrared space, or just before infrared, over in 740 nanometers, which is also going to give you some other advantages that I'll get to. By adding these different colors, and more critically making sure that they're phosphor converted, we're really filling out that color spectrum and able to give you a wide gamut that is going to be traditionally very difficult to reach with lighting in set. So speaking of the phosphor converted chips, let's take a look at what happens with a standard red chip versus what happens with the mixed technology and our reds. So what you can see here is an overlay of two different examples of a pretty typical digital camera sensor. And what you'll notice is that that red chip on the camera lines up perfectly with the standard red LED in most RGB LEDs. What that does is you're not giving enough information to the camera. It's only exciting one sensor. So that's why you get that clipped image, that artifact. So that means then you're either going to have that artifact baked into the image, and you're not going to be able to get it out under post, or it's going to be very expensive to do in post, or you're going to have to desaturate that color, and then you're no longer in that color gamut and color spectrum that you're ideally working in. So that phosphor converted red that you see there, you can see it comes over, it overlays into that green spectrum so that you're actually able to give the camera more information, avoid those artifacts, and get a truer, richer color while still keeping your efficacy up. And this is another just example of some of that color range and some of those artifacts, again, that you're going to avoid by using the mixed technology system there. So what you can see there with those China balls is that that's taken at a very low intensity. I was there, I had some other folks on camera. We were trying to pull this down as low as we possibly could, and it has nothing to do with how intense or not your fixture's at. It's truly having to do with the gamut of your RGB LEDs and it lining up perfectly with that camera sensor. So the last thing to hit on is the true Rosco color. So this is a way that we have done something a little bit different in terms of putting gels into our fixtures. Again, I mentioned we wanted to make sure that you had a consistent workflow process from beginning to end. So this is an example of why XY is a great starting point, but can be very, very deceiving. We want this to be a standard, and unfortunately, there's still some issues with this as a standard. So this is work that the ASC Lighting Committee is working on right now to develop some ways around this, because as much as we would all love to be able to put in the same XY coordinate across all of our fixtures, it's a starting point but doesn't tell the full story. And that's because XY or XYZ is only describing one part of the equation. It's not talking about spectrum. It's only talking about gamut. And what you can see here is an example, and we'll go ahead and we'll have Pablo show you that same color there, which you can see, and you can pull out your camera so you can see that it's not producing that artifact, is that even though these three fixture sets, which is a tungsten with E-color 024 gel over it, a standard RGBW panel, and the mixed technology, they're all on that same XY coordinate. Theoretically, this should be the same color across these 3 different light sources. But you can see that spectrally, it's very, very different. So the mix technology not just dials that in with the XY, but before we put a gel into our fixtures, we dial that fixture in until it matches spectrally to the eye, to a spectrometer, with an amalgam of the top 5 cameras on the market, and critically with DITs in post-production to make sure that color is purely consistent throughout your workflow. And you can really see the results on that image. That center picture there, that's what you're trying to go for. That's a straight old favorite full spectrum tungsten with that subtractive 024 on it. That RGBW fixture, no matter what I do to it, no matter what I do to that recipe, fix those metamers, it's never going to be able to achieve that same color space. So we put the gels that we can recreate in there, and we keep the gels that you can't get to out so you're not getting unexpected situations on set. We do a continually updating process that happens through the free app that's on your phone on both iOS and Android. So as we do that validation process, you'll be able to get that quickly, freely. You don't have to get a USB stick back from the manufacturer or do anything complicated. You're able to do it straight from your app and get those new colors as we develop it. To date, we have almost 200 of the most popular colors in the entire market for gels available on these lights and through your app. So again, all of this is fantastic. But if it's really difficult to use, you're not going to be able to reap all those benefits. So we did a lot of work on the engineering side because our engineers come from the industry as well. This whole line was developed by a DP, a gaffer, and an LED specialist with another 15 years of experience manufacturing LEDs. So this is really gear by you and for you. They have been on set. We have been on set. We know the challenges, and we wanted to give you a variety of ways to key into these fixtures and control. So you can see Pablo here. He's working manually. So you've got your 3 basic modes right on the back of the fixture. You've got white mode, you've got color mode, and you've got gel mode, which also allows you to access the effects. We've made this a completely menuless operation, so you're not diving deep into menus and getting lost and not seeing where you're at. At any time, you can always see exactly what it is that you're doing on camera and on the back of the fixture. If you are remote from the fixture, you can also tie into our app. The app is going to allow you to do everything that you can do on the back of the fixtures, choose your gels, make slight adjustments as you need it, but then offers a few additional features that might be handy for you on set. So with the app, you can also save those and send your presets to other folks in your department or even across departments if you want to use a new thing that we'll be showing you today to help do some pre-visualization work with your color. And then, of course, DMX. If you're in very large rigs, we have a wide variety of ways that you can access DMX fixtures for large arrays. So you have DMX with integrated Lumen Radio wireless, as well as ArtNet, Wi-Fi, LAN. And what's also pretty fun is this entire system here actually can act as its own Wi-Fi Lumen Radio gateway. So that then takes one extra piece of gear off. This will communicate not only with our fixtures, but you can also use this as a gateway to communicate with other fixtures by other manufacturers. So with the app interface, you also have a couple of other additional features that you get. One thing that we really love is the photo capture mode. So this allows you to either live or pull from a photo library and actually choose that as a color picker and download it directly to the lights. So it's a really fast and easy way if you're mixing with other sources or maybe you're outside on the beautiful Santa Monica beach, you capture a really beautiful sunset that allows you to capture that photo, capture that color instantly, and be able to put it into your lights at a later time. So new this year, we have a very big fixture to show you with the Maxi Mix, and we have a very small fixture that I haven't pulled out yet called MixBook. So the Maxi Mix offers you a few additional features that the smaller sizes don't. So for the Maxi Mix, you have the ability not only to be on yoke, but you can also remote the yoke, remote everything off, use your standard plate mount to go to a regular stand. What we've also heard back as feedback from the departments that are working with these in larger arrays is that they really wanted to go beyond this single array and really be able to make massive arrays because of the output, because of the fact that you've got that pixel control, that zone mode where you can do effects. People really wanted to use this as a cost-effective way to do things like immersive environments or process work. So now rather than needing a media server and needing very large, heavy, expensive arrays, you can get some of that same workflow process with the Maxi Mix fixtures. And lastly, we have the smallest unit, MixBook. MixBook Ships, comes in your pocket there. Just like the Mix technology, you have the full 6-chip system right into the fixtures. Right there, has 2.5 hours on battery life. And I can come here, and this not only works as a standalone fixture if you just maybe need a little bit of an eye light there, it's got your 1/4-20 mount on the back, but now this is also a grader tool. This is now your color communication tool that you can use across departments to be able to show and communicate and talk and adjust colors and check LED colors for the first time ever before you show up on set. Of course, because you have that same chipset system that the full Mix line has, if you're using our fixtures, once you get to the colors that you like, you can go ahead and you can save those, download them, save them to your library, and be able to recall those and also send those same colors to the fixtures. However, even if I'm working with other manufacturers' fixtures, because we have that expanded color set, and even if maybe it's not going to be an exact match, I can come in with my XY coordinate. I can make sure that I'm sitting there and I'm dialing into the exact fixtures that I want, save that, and then I know that this is my fill-in-the-blank manufacturer, 3200 Kelvin. I can then take this to set. I can take this to my art department. I can make sure that we're testing those colors to make sure that paints that I'm using, makeup, hair color, skin tones are going to render the way I want them to. I can also work across this with my DP and my gaffer so that rather than having to wait for the DP to show up on set to do my pre-light because I don't know what colors the DP has in mind, the cinematographer now can choose these colors on a plane, 3 a.m., who knows where they're at, the other show that they're working on, save those folders, save those colors that they want, and then share that with their gaffer. The gaffer, the ACLTs on set, then have the color spectrum that they know the DP wants. So they can sit on set, and even if you're working across many manufacturers, be able to point and say, okay, I can tell that one needs to be a little bit more blue, that one needs to be a little bit more green, so on and so forth, speeding up your time on set so you no longer are stuck in a very long pre-light. So we're very excited to have this tool to show you guys today. We hope that this addresses some of the questions and issues that come up, helps to make sure that you're avoiding those artifacts. And we thank you very much. We please welcome you to come and check out more of the Rosco fixtures at our table there, as well as the backdrops. As Phil mentioned, we are located in Sun Valley, so if you ever need to get your hands on these or talk more, please come see us. We'll be happy to help.
Thank you very much, Emily.
Thank you, James.